Warning, this video may contain graphic content such as sexual scenes, violence, gore, boobies, and the rest of the fun stuff. Unfortunately, YouTube won't allow that, so we'll try what we can. Please be over 18 to view this video, and don't say we didn't warn you.
Endlessly searching for an original
Hey guys, welcome back to Sinfully Fun Games, my longest running series other than Indie Files. So let's look at our first game. It's called Sweet Dream Succubus, Nightmare Edition. Once again, thank you to all the fans who send me games and developers who send me games to review. Game features a shader which can slow, I should be okay. Sure. Puppy barking. It's dark. Puppy barking. Wait. There's a light swirling in all the black. There's a light swirling in the black all around. It's intense now, like pushing your palm against your eyeballs. Hurts about the same too. Wait. Oh, the clicking is a little buggy. What the hell is going on? Am I dreaming? Stranger, of course. Of course, silly. Where else would you be? Another dimension? The darkness within the dream recedes to be replaced with a soft pink. The pain in my head turns into a spreading warmth, filling me with comfort. With the glow, I can make out the figure before me. She smiles sweetly and moves forward, her calm demeanor a contrast to her lewd movements as she pushes on my shoulders. A hint of a sly smirk creeps into the corners of her mouth as I rotate backwards, floating among the clouds of this space. I realize that I am naked. I don't care. I'm naked, so what? Who cares? God, that was loud. You cannot change really the volume. A slender woman straddles my hip, positioning herself over my erection, the smooth mound between her legs eagerly glistening as she leans in close to my ear. Are you ready? Before I can respond, her soft lips find my mouth and her tongue pushes against mine. As the sweetness of her kiss arrests me, I feel her pushing her hips down onto mine. Her tight warmth, smooth and slick, yet soft, yet muscular. It envelops me in an impossibly perfect fit, and I feel I could pass out from the pleasure of that penetration alone. She giggles with a girlish delight, her breath hot against my face. Lifting her lips up to draw me out with her, she pauses for a moment before pushing back down with a satisfying sigh. She takes everything without effort, and I feel as if I could keep going deeper, pushing into her until I am lost in her touch, in her movement, in every gasp and giggle. My vision glows orange as the sunlight from the window hits my closed eyelids. I roll over groggily and not ready to wake up. Why does my body feel so heavy? Just kind of watching it jump up and down. A sharp ringing assaults my ears. My alarm. What? 10:45? That must mean I already slept through my usual alarm. Let's see. So, check date. August 14th. Nothing special about today. I swear I set this for 7 a.m. You slept through a lot of alarms, my friend. You would think I had gone on a bender last night or something, but all I remember is going to sleep like any other night. I grin as my memory takes me to a pleasant dream I had. Already I am beginning to forget the details, but the way she rode me... what? Ah, jeez. Did I seriously have a wet dream last night? It's been ages since that happened to me. I guess I really need to get laid, huh? That's depressing. My body is so pent up, it took matters into its own hands. I need a shower. A hot shower and a quick snack got me feeling more awake and alive, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for the rest of my day. Should I stay in today and relax? My break has just begun, and I am still feeling a little off from last night. Still, I promised myself I wouldn't waste all my free time. A jog around the local park should help me focus and count as a productive use of my time. Let's go for a jog. Yeah, I guess I should go outside, huh? I should at least try to stay active. There'll be plenty of time to goof off later. As much as I wanted to think of an excuse to do nothing all day, I promised myself I'd try to stay in shape. Doesn't mean I have to enjoy it, though. You should enjoy jogging. I enjoy jogging. Almost half an hour later, I find myself, in sneakers and track pants, running along the small greenway that weaves around the outskirts of town. It is a pretty nice day out. Not too hot, not too cold. The local trail is nice and spacious, running through the local woods and away from any noisy roads. I think they built this path over some old train tracks. Regardless, it is still a warm, breezy day, and I settle into a rhythm of wariness. Into a rhythm. The wariness in my muscles is replaced with a pleasant burn as I work to maintain a good pace. For a while, there is no one else on the trail, and I appreciate the isolation. Nothing but the noise of my footfalls and heartbeat over the rustling of trees and the small sounds of wildlife. My tranquility is broken, however, by the sound of footfalls approaching from behind, faint at first, but growing louder as the other runner catches up to me. Keep your distance and admire. Fine. I can almost feel my heart rate pick up at the sight of her body, slender and fit, with a firm round butt barely stuffed into the small pair of shorts. I keep my eyes on her and think of how to make the most of this situation. The view from the back here is quite nice, and besides, I don't want to be too obvious as I check her out. I keep my eyes fixed ahead, admiring her butt as it bounces up and down in time with her steps. Her shorts hug the swell of her cheeks tightly, and despite how firm her ass appears jogging down the trail, I can still make out the line where the hem pushes into her plump bottom before it spills out, and underside of her bare ass is painfully attractive on display. My heart rate rises as I feel my excitement grow, and I struggle to maintain a healthy distance without losing sight of her behind the trees as she makes a turn ahead of me. Soon enough, I see her disappear around the corner and pick up a pace a bit too close to the gap, rounding the bend I see. Nothing. She's gone, and there's no way she made it across the way to the next turn in the trail. I slow down to walk and catch my breath as I think about how the last thing I see before I tumble down the embankment is a cute face, twisted in a surprise and concern, and a pair of tight running shorts over his smooth, shapely legs. My legs and back are sore, and as I shake the dizziness from my head, I remember that I fell off the trail just a moment ago. I try to orient myself upwards, pushing my palms into the dirt to lift my back off the ground. The girl from earlier is standing a few feet from me. At the edge of the trail, she looks remarkably familiar, almost exactly like the girl from my dream last night.
Oh my gosh, are you okay?
But that can't be. My recollection must be hazy, my mind trying to make connections that aren't there. Screw it, she gets the good voice. I'm fine, I'm fine. I was just startled for a moment back there. I don't think I heard anything, though. You look a lot like someone I know, and I think it caught me by surprise. Is that why you were checking me out earlier? Don't think I didn't notice you back there. I could practically feel your eyes all over me. Her concerned expression from moments ago has been replaced with a sly grin. She seems to be enjoying this. Not used to being confronted so directly for someone perfectly harmless leering, I shrink down as much as I can. Is she going to yell for help or call the police? Am I going to be put on some list like a creep? No, You can look. She stops my stammering excuse cold and steps forward, standing practically at my feet and elevated by the small embankment. Show me yours and I'll show you mine. I hesitate for a second as she winks at me, sending all compunction out the window. I pull my pants down, trying to keep my bare ass off the grass for a second before giving in and sitting down. My member is already springing to attention at the circumstances, and I let one hand drift between my legs, half in an effort to help it along, and half in a futile attempt to preserve some modesty. That's more like it. My, you really do like to look, don't you? See how excited you're getting? Of course she's right. Having a girl this attractive start stripping you in public is enough to get any man's blood pumping. Can you blame me, Miss, Let's see what you can do with it. You like to watch, you little voyeur. Do you like to be watched as well? I want to see you shoot out here in the woods like the pervert you are. Of course I'll help you out. Yes, ma'am. Her insults only serve to excite me more in this setting, and I find myself throbbing in my hand. I begin to stroke slowly, spitting in my hand to help things along. In response, she pushes her hands against her clothes, lifting her sports bra, allowing the softness of her breast to fall out with a bounce, beads of sweat rolling down her tummy to her waist. Her eyes light up as my breathing picks up, and her sly, seductive smile is transformed into a hungry wolf grin. Are you close, pervert? Are you? I nod my head and gasp out an affirmative response, picking up speed as I feel myself approaching the point of no return. She draws her breath and bites her lip. Oh, fuck. I lose control and go over the edge, my cock twitching in my hand as I let loose rope after rope of pearly white semen to glint in the air before slapping wetly against the grass, the most eager shots making their way to the girl's running shoes. Her knees and shoulders turn inward as she inhales again through her teeth, as if deriving her own pleasure from mine. My head goes white for an instant, at the apex of my orgasm, and I lean back on the ground exhausted. Very good, you'll do nicely. I see her reach down and scoop up a dollop of my seed from the edge of her shoe, and I catch a glimpse of her sly grin again before everything fades away. When I come to, the sun is noticeably lower in the sky. Cool shadows lay across the trail, and there is no sign of the girl from earlier. No sign aside from her at all. Well, guys, we could continue, but I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this one. So if you wanted to continue, you know what to do, and I'll see you guys in a second for the next game. So the next game we're looking at is called Love at First Sight. So let's jump on in. Oh, that's kind of cute. Kind of like the look of this one so far. Pun not intended. Oh, wait, did someone send me Japanese? Is there an English? There we go. It's early in the morning. This is the path I always take to school. I normally have to hurry, but today I can take it easy. I had a little extra time to get out of the house, which is kind of unusual. I'm feeling good under the warm morning sunshine and cool morning breeze as I head to school. I'm not in a hurry, but it still doesn't take long to get to school. My house isn't right next door to the school, but it isn't that far away either. Even if I don't have to leave as early as I did today, I never have to run to get to school on time or anything. That's what I'm thinking as I change into my school slippers. I absentmindedly climb the stairs, heading to my classroom on the second floor, Class 2-2. I put my hand on the door to open it, and then...
Oh, Makan! Good morning! You're here earlier than usual. How unlike you!
Her loud, ear-splitting voice takes me out of my morning daze. Good morning, Akemi. I see you're getting a head start on being loud and obnoxious today.
There's nothing wrong with being energetic.
This overly spirited person is Tsunemi Akemi. She is always like this, the kind of person who always going full throttle from the moment she wakes up until the moment she falls asleep. You're not energetic, you're out of control, but I guess that's what I should be expecting by now. Morning, Tomo. You know her better than I do, right? Does she have a volume knob? Morning. I've known Akemi for a long time, and I can say for sure that no, she doesn't. What? Okay. This is Ochai Tomoyori. He's a zombie in contrast to Akemi's liveliness. This artwork seems familiar, but like Akemi, his energy level is constant. He's lifeless all day, every day. I've only known her for a little while, but I'm starting to realize that. You'll get used to it. Why does it keep doing that? I think I'm hitting the wrong button or something.
Ma-kun, lately you've started treating me as bad as Tomo-kun. Is this really how you should be treating someone you've only known for 2 months?
Considering how annoying you are, do you really expect me to treat you any different? Yeah, I've only known these two for about 2 months, though I've gotten pretty close to them in that time. I'm Fukanaj Mamoru. 2 months ago, I had to switch high schools because of my parents' work. Fall's almost over. I transferred in the middle of the season, and because of that, I was a bit of an oddity among the other students. I was really nervous at first, but luckily, these two came along, and we became great friends.
That's mean! Tomo-kun, say something!
Well, it seems like you two are getting close. Yeah, thanks to you.
Hey, don't ignore me!
I can say for sure that Tomo is the real reason I'm comfortable here now. He doesn't take care of his appearance, and he's not the warmest person you'll ever meet, but he's pretty smart and ultimately a good guy. I learned how dependable he is pretty quickly.
Okay, ignoring me is now forbidden. You hear me?
We might be ignoring her, but I guess I owe Akame as well. The fact that she's so annoyingly loud is her only real flaw. I don't know anyone more inspiring than her. Lately, Akemi's been trying to get me to hang out with her and Tomo all the time. The two seem to balance each other out, though it's not a perfect balance by any means. From what I hear, they've been friends since they were kids, though Tomo once told me she's basically just been following me around this whole time. The bell rings. It's already time for homeroom. What's first period today? Math. Our homework is due today. You did it, right? Yeah, yesterday. I finished with time to spare for a change. I was actually able to go to bed early because of it.
I said ignoring me was forbidden. Hey!
The morning lesson ends and lunchtime begins. Which one is that?
Lunchtime, time to eat.
We move from our classroom to one farther down the hall. We're the only ones in here, and Akemi's thundering voice echoes in the empty classroom. 3 of us have been coming to this empty classroom for lunch since I transferred to this school.
On the menu for today is Salisbury steak. Awesome!
What are you talking about? What are you, a kid? Come on. Can you at least lower the volume during lunch? Tomo, help me out here. After a moment, Tomo replies, What do you want me to do? Then he sighs and snatches Akame's chopsticks from her.
Hey!
Then, as Akemi opens her mouth to protest, Tomo stuffs the piece of Salisbury steak into her mouth. She seems to have forgotten anything she wanted to say when the food entered her mouth, and she quietly chews it. Her mood improves a moment later, and her expression dissolves into bliss as she chews. She really is an airhead. I'm not her keeper, you know. You could have fooled me. Who else could hold back that freight train of a girl? You think I can hold back a freight train? Okay, maybe not. Exactly.
Exactly.
Akemi cries, spewing food everywhere. Then, realizing what she just did, she hastily closes her mouth and swallows.
I'm the #1 most cheerful girl in town. Tsunemi Akemi-chan.
With that, she goes back to eating her lunch. I guess she can't stay quiet for long, no matter what she's doing. The most cheerfulest girl in town? I don't think you have any competition for that title. No kidding. She's one of our school celebrities. Tomo starts on his own lunch. Seriously? You mean there's more? Yeah, our high school has a lot of unusual students. There's a lot of rumors floating around concerning our school, it seems. Wow, what other kind of celebrities are there? You don't know about any of them? Well, first there's... Tomo takes a quick glance at Akemi, but she seems to be lost in her own food-induced paradise. She's not even listening to us anymore. Well, there's a lot of them. If you really want to know, I'll tell you later. He doesn't want to talk about this in front of Akemi. I guess it's a touchy subject, but I'll make it a point to ask about it later.
All done!
You eat way too fast. Crap, I barely touched my own food while we were chatting. I should have started on my lunch while she had her mouth closed. I'm not going to get another chance now.
Hey! What are you two talking about?
I was recounting the epic saga of how you won your fame. He seemed to be really interested in it, so I wanted to tell him to hear it from the source. Wait, what?
Really? Sure thing, Makun. Do you want to hear about when I saved the town for the first time with my fantastic powers? I hadn't met Tomo-kun yet, and...
No, I really don't want to hear about that. Come on, Tomo. A minute ago, you told me to take care of her, and now I'm telling you to do it. I haven't even touched my food yet, so you be her friend for a bit. And without a second glance, he starts to eat his lunch in silence.
Makun, are you listening? So anyway, my mom had gone out shopping and...
No, you are the one who needs to listen. Man, how did I get roped into this? And so, for the rest of lunchtime, I got stuck listening to her story while I finished my lunch and gave her the occasional nod. School ends.
Huh, Makun, where's Tomo-kun?
Akemi calls out to me as I'm packing my stuff. She's rushed out of the classroom right when class ended. It seems she came back just as quickly. He said he had some things to take care of back at his place and left a little early. What's up?
Oh, really? Well, can you take this to the third-year classroom for me? I promised to return this before the end of the day, but I've got a club meeting I gotta go to, so...
She hands me a small paper bag. It feels like it's got a book or something inside. I sigh. Fine, I'll do it.
Thanks a bunch. Give it to a student in in class 3-2 named Yai Katashi. I'm counting on you.
No sooner does she say that than she disappears again. She just can't stay still, can she? I suppose I'd better get going, too. No telling how long this Yai person is going to be there for. I finish packing up and head to the classroom on the 3rd floor. I arrive at the 3rd-year student's classroom with a chemist's package and look for the person I'm supposed to deliver it to. But some of the other students tell me she's stepped out for a bit. They say she'll be back soon and that I can just wait for her, but 10 minutes pass and she's still nowhere to be found. Maybe I should have been one of the other people to give it to her and just go home. My big problem with this is it's hard to read the words because the thing isn't dark enough. School's over and most of the students have been at their club activities for a while now. While I'm waiting in the 3rd-year classroom, the other students file out, and the school grounds slowly become devoid of life. The noise of the daytime actively has all but disappeared. I feel like I'm in detention. I want to go home already. I give up, leave the classroom, and turn towards the stairwell. My classroom is on the 2nd floor, so I usually don't spend any time up here. The layout of the 2 floors are pretty much identical, but somehow I feel like this is some alternate dimension. And just as I'm about to descend the stairs, I start to hear what I think are sobs coming from nearby. I figured I was alone and had relaxed because of that, but then sudden sobbing catches me off guard and I freeze. I hold my breath and strain my ears. It's not my imagination. Someone nearby is crying softly. Hearing someone crying in an empty school building sounds like the beginning of a horror story. What am I saying? This isn't a horror story. School might be over, but the sun hasn't even gone down yet. Finding someone else in the building isn't that strange. Well, I say that, but this situation isn't exactly normal either. The sobbing continues. It sounds like it's coming from the next floor. It's quiet, but it reverberates off the narrow stairwells. It's definitely coming from the floor above me, though I didn't realize it until now. But this building only has 3 floors. The only thing above me is the roof, right? The school is over. The doors to the roof should have been locked by now. But I can still hear the crying, so there's no way it could be coming from there. But if the door is locked, that means the way up there is just a dead end. I can't just walk up there and check and claim I happened to walk by. But before I can think it through, my curiosity has me turning around and heading back up the stairs. I climb step by step up the stairs as quietly as I can, though I can't help but make a little noise. As I get closer to the source of the sobbing, I begin to hear it more clearly. There's just one voice, and judging by the sound of it, it's a girl's. It feels like I'm climbing up 10 stories, but it only takes a few seconds, and suddenly, I'm almost on the landing. I take the last step and turn toward the source of the crying. In front of me is a girl wearing our school's uniform. She's laying against the door to the roof, sobbing. The girl hears me walking toward her and starts shivering as she turns her head towards me. Nothing up to this point has been too out of the ordinary, at least until I saw her face. What the fuck? What? Huh? The girl stares at me with a single eye, her face sopping wet from crying. And I don't mean that she was missing an eye. She literally only had one giant eye in the middle of her face. Suddenly, she registers that I'm standing in front of her, and she jumps, drawing her limbs into her body. And what happens next? I'm afraid that we would have to find out next time, guys. If you want to see more of this, you know what to do in that comment section. Let's jump to the next game. See you guys in a moment. So if anybody watches my build streams, they know I had mentioned, I think last weekend, about, I wonder if there's any JoJo stream, or JoJo games. Apparently there are. Nerd Wonder and I found this while looking up some stuff for another game. So yeah, we're gonna put this as Sinfully Fun Games and see if this is worth doing a full Let's Play of. By the way, every time you come to the main screen, it's a different JoJo. As I walk up the slope, I'm trying not to drag my feet. Students wearing the same uniform are walking along the same incline, split into little groups and talking animatedly, even though it's so early in the morning. Why the hell are they so happy? This school has one of the worst reputations in the whole city. But I guess it takes a special kind of person to come to a school like this. The kind of person who doesn't care that they're going to a school designated especially for delinquents. Or maybe I'm just grumpy. Mornings aren't my thing. I kick a rock along with me, going as far as to veer on my path when I kick it too far out of the way. All these kids be damned. This rock will be my new friend. It's not that I have an intention of not making friends at this new school, but starting a school year in the middle of the semester wasn't going to be easy. Everyone's already gotten into their little friend groups, having already bonded. Not much room for a new kid, especially one who isn't even a delinquent. I kick a rock a little too forcefully and it skitters far ahead of me. I watch in slow motion as it zooms towards the storm drain. Plop! I just killed one of my one and only friend. So this is it, huh? I was expecting busted windows and weeds, maybe a little bit of ominous lighting, but it looks like any other school. The kids too. Sure, there are more than a few crazy hairstyles, and most have taken very generous liberations with the uniform, but that's not a bad thing. No, I can't get weak. Even if I'm lonely, I can't let my guard down. If I do, the next thing I know, I'll be in a gang and committing petty crimes and arson. Gotta stay on my toes. Constant vigilance.
Hey there.
He's keeping the voice. I jump and immediately take on a defensive stance that I've seen in old kung fu movies. The guy laughs and looks me up and down.
Whoa there, pal. I ain't looking for trouble.
He seems nice enough. I ease my fist down.
So I guess I was right to assume that you're the new kid, huh? Mr. Jonathan told me you'd be coming today.
Mr. Jonathan?
That's our homeroom teacher. I guess he lets us call him by his first name to appeal to the youth or whatever.
The guy shrugs.
I'm pretty sure he's pretty straight-laced, but he's cool. Mr. Jonathan asked me to give you a little tour.
I really should do this game with all the guys. Oh yeah.
I'm Josuke, by the way. What should I call you?
You are going to be Anon, of the Anon clan.
Well, Anon, let's get going, shall we?
Josuke shows me around. Kids are milling around the hallways and filtering into classrooms, paying us little mind. Everything actually looks pretty ordinary.
Huh?
Nothing, it's just this place might actually be a little nicer than the school I used to go to.
Well, you know what they say.
You don't judge a book by its...
Assholes alert.
Wait, what? Oh my Christ. This one has to be done with the other guys if I do this. But before I have time to ask, a guy bounds up to us and wraps an arm around Josuke's neck like they're best buds. But by Josuke's face, I can tell that most likely not the case. I like him, but I'm gonna have to give him the voice. Hey, Josuke-chan! Yep. Josuke sighs through his nose and doesn't bother to hide his annoyance.
I told you not to call me that.
The guy pinches Josuke's cheek.
And I told you to call me senpai, but you don't. This is what people call a stalemate, Josuke-chan.
Josuke huffs and shrugs the guy's arm off of him.
Shouldn't you be in class?
What the hell does the music keep getting louder?
Nah.
Josuke scoffs.
What do you mean, nah? Class isn't optional.
It is when you have bigger fish to fry. I've been quietly watching the exchange the whole time, but now the guy's eyes fall on me.
Speaking of fish, I'd like to fry.
He holds his hand out to me. I'm Joseph JoeStar. You call me a fish? Joseph grins before giving me a lazy wink. Well, if you're a fish, then I'll be the water.
What the hell is that even supposed to mean?
Interpret it as you will. Wait, so are you the person frying the fish, or are you the water? Both. Josuke rolls his eyes and rests his hand on his cocked hip.
Stop harassing the new kid and just tell us what you want.
Joseph straightens up and finally gets to the heart of the matter. Have you seen Caesar around? The bell rings, signaling that class is starting. The last few stragglers in the hallway disappear into different doors, leaving the three of us alone. Joseph doesn't seem perturbed in the slightest.
He's probably in class. You know, like he's supposed to be. Like you're supposed to be.
Joseph sticks his tongue out at Josuke playfully. Don't act like you don't cut class, Josu-chan. Me and the new kid aren't fooled in the slightest. It's clear that Josuke is about to sputter some response, but the Joseph guy gives a hearty laugh and claps him on the back. I'm sorry, man. I'm only teasing you. You just make it so easy. We gotta get going, fish guy. Fish? Oh, well, I guess I had that one coming. He gives Josuke one last pat on the back for good measure before giving us a cheery goodbye. As he leaves, he calls back. If you see Caesar, tell him to meet me by the fountain, or he automatically loses the race.
The race?
But his question is heard only by me because Joseph is jogging merrily down the hall and turning the corner. Well, that guy is certainly something. Josuke laughs.
Yeah, that's
Wrong voice.
Yeah, that's certainly one way to put it. But really, he's not a bad guy. He's just
Rambunctious.
Yeah, that's a good word.
He sucks in a deep breath, lets his cheeks puff out before exhaling.
So anyway, let's get back to that tour.
Josuke is really talkative, giving me people to watch out for, pointers on how to fit in, and other odds and ends of information. He's quick to laugh and has a certain charm that makes me feel at ease.
Well, that's our humble little school. I guess it's time to get to class now.
I don't know, the roof could probably use another look over, don't you think?
Are you serious? Are you suggesting that we cut class?
His eyes are gleaming with mischief, and I smile back at him.
Don't you dare tell Joseph. He'll never let me live it down.
It sounded to me like he already knew you're a delinquent who cuts class.
That's true. You can't do anything without that guy knowing. It's like the bastard has a sixth sense or something. But anyways,
Josuke raises a fist into the air.
To the rooftop!
As soon as we step foot on the roof, Josuke stretches his arms to the sky and tilts his head up towards the sun.
Oh, it feels far too good for out here to be cooped up in the classroom.
The way he stretches in the sunlight kind of reminds me of a cat. Meow. It's cute.
Head on.
He motions for me to follow him further onto the roof.
Come on, let's get comfortable.
He looks like a cat. He lays down on the ground, wasting no time in stretching out. His eyes are closed, and there's a content smile on his face, only furthering my thoughts of him being like a cat. I lay down next to him. Wow, I get the appeal of this. The sun really does feel good. I close my eyes and enjoy the sound of the breeze rustling the trees around the school. When the soft wind reaches us, it smells earthly and fresh. At this rate, I'm gonna fall asleep.
So, what brought you to this school?
I look over to Josuke, my body feeling lazy and heavy from the sun. By the way his eyelids were drooping, I can tell he's feeling the same way. Kill the man. Josuke grins.
Is that so?
Yep, I threw the bastard down a storm drain and he drowned.
Wow, you're a stone cold killer.
The irony of this statement kills me, if only he knew. What are you in for?
Same, believe it or not.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, except it was a bank heist gone wrong.
I've been there, done that. Definitely not fun. Dasuke and I look at each other with a serious expression before breaking into fits of giggles. As we mellow out, I'm struck by how wonderful this scene is. Fat clouds ambling across the sky, lungs full of cool air, skin warm with laughter and sunlight. And sharing it all with a pretty boy. Pretty cool boy, I meant pretty cool. Definitely not pretty. Okay, so Josuke's pretty. It's certainly not the first time I've thought it, but this school is pretty chill. The people are a bit eccentric, but they're friendly. I can see myself having a good school year here. With a sleepy groan, Josuke sits up. He runs his hands through the back of his hair, seeming to make sure everything is still in place.
We should probably head back before Mr. Jonathan freaks.
I nod my head reluctantly. I could stay up here all day, but Josuke's right. God. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those games. Everyone looks at us when we enter the room, as to be expected. The teacher, Mr. Jonathan, stops writing on the board and gives us both a sunny smile. There you are. I was starting to wonder if you two had gotten lost. He looks at me and smiles even brighter. Wow, if he keeps this up, I'm gonna go blind. You must be Anon. It's great to meet you. It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Jonathan. What a positive attitude. I appreciate it. Did Josuke give you a good tour? I hope he wasn't too troublesome.
We only did a handful of petty crimes. Nothing federal, I rest assured.
Jonathan shakes his head, and Josuke laughs before heading towards his seat. Would you like to introduce yourself to the class, Anon? I very much would like not to do it, but I know it's a rhetorical question. I turn to the class. Hi, plebs, I'm Anon. Okay, so far so good. I'm excited to be part of your class, ready for this year to get it over with, here to crack some skulls and learn some shit. Okay, the final statement, I got this. That's it, I guess. Glare at everyone intimidately. I look forward to meeting all of you. I bow politely, and there's a bit of a curious chatter around the room. What a lovely introduction, Anon. Jonathan claps his hands together. We've got a few seats available. Choose whichever one you want. I'm gonna go with this one. There's an open seat right in front of the chalkboard, so I plop my bag down to slide into the chair. The teacher seems delighted at my choice. All right, class, let's dive right in. The class here seems exactly like my old school. The curriculum is the same, and I've actually heard the exact lesson that Jonathan's giving now. At this place, it'll be another few days before he catches up with the material from my old class. That means I can just chill for the next school week, which is more than fine by me. Usually in a situation like this, I would take the opportunity to daydream and think about what I'm going to do after school, but being in front of the classroom makes that a little hard. Besides, Jonathan is a lot of fun to watch. That hard isn't, though. It's clear he loves his job. He talks animatedly, often using his hands to explain and put emphasis on the words. Well, now, guys, that's all we have time for this one, but we have one more game coming up. Remember, guys, to comment which game you want to see and what you think of each game. Let's pop over to the last game, shall we? So, the final game for this week's Sinfully Fun Games is Hanachirasu. Now, here's the thing. After this, I have about 40 gigs of games from Red, which means all I've been told is get ready for some horror. So I have no idea what that means, but we're going to have some very interesting Sinfully Fun games coming up. So let's look at this game. Fun fact, this is a game I pre-ordered from J-List, and they never sent it to me, and it's been years. Thank you, Nerdrunner, for helping me find this, by the way. That started off.
いけません、お姉様。
あら、何がいけないというのかしら。
Fingers play enticingly over the young man's body, caressing hair, cheek, neck, and chest before boldly continuing their march yet slower. He wiggles beneath their touch, his weak protest serving only to stroke the flames of the woman's sadism. It is only to be expected.
言ってごらんなさい。私が私の城で私のペットを可愛がっているだけなのに。
Absolutely nothing. She is Katsuraba Kyoko, director of the Kakigawa Corporation 2nd Division. As a leader of the corporation that rules Tokyo's economy, she has the power and privilege, the likes of which few in this city can dream. In addition, she is one of the vice president's top advisors, which places her in the highest ranks of the corporation's largest faction. Even within Takigawa, her authority is nay absolute. And so this building, the headquarters and the 2nd Division, is indeed fit to be called her castle. Looking at the furnishings of her private office, one cannot help but wonder if they cost more than the rest of the building put together. Who then will begrudge this queen her amusement? Who has such power? This feeble kitten laying beneath her? Surely not.
そんな、僕はペットなんかじゃ。
あら、そうなの？
The woman smiles beautifully, warmth and kindness shining from her face. Her true compassion. Here is true, hers is true compassion, no mere act. For indeed, compassion is a virtue of the powerful. If she were to crush the life from every ant that stuck its tiny fangs into her finger, she would surely invite the scorn of her peers. A true ruler has the magnanimity to smile upon such pitiful creatures until they realize the magnitude of their folly. Behold, in light of the woman's smile, has not the clever little kitten begun to tremble in horror at the importance of his own words?
あなたが私のペットでないのなら、どうしてここにいるのでしょうね。この
I'm gonna do something really quick. I wonder why the music is so darn loud. So here's something I did want to show off. Actually, getting the thing to work is a little bit of a nightmare. That's kind of annoying. There we go.
部屋は緊急の時を除いて直属の部下にさえ立ち入りを禁じているのだけど。あなたは人間なの？なら申し訳ないけれど、今すぐ服を着てそこの扉から出て行ってくださる？
違います。僕はペットです。お姉様の。
そう、よかった。
The woman plants a loving kiss upon her pet's forehead. Relief shines from his eyes as he realizes that he's not been tossed aside. And so the kitten relinquishes his humanity in exchange for something far more precious, the affection of his queen. For her pet, the queen is able to indulge briefly in the comfort of playing with her favorite pets. Each gains something according to his or her station, and is satisfied such as is a true rulership.
でも、お姉様。
何？
This time, Kyoko cannot conceal her irritation as her pet's protest, though more timid than the last, once again interrupts her fantasies of toying with his flesh. She knows that excessive tolerance, too, is unbecoming of the powerful. If this were any other plaything, she would have already thrown him out of her office. Succubus, quite literally.
今は大事なお仕事の最中です。僕とこうしているせいでもし何かあったら。
あら、そんなこと。
His words bring a smile back to her face, the concern evident in his voice, moving her to forgiveness.
大丈夫よ。確かに府外からの物資搬入は大事なお仕事だけれど、何度もしていることだもの。私がいなくてもミスなどするような部下たちではないから。
でも最近はテロリストの動きが活発だって言います。こんな時に襲われたりしたらお姉様の身が。
誰からそんなことを聞いたの？
護衛の人たちが話しているのを聞いて。
まったく。
These precious few moments of pleasure are Kyoko's sole reprieve from the harsh grind of her daily duties. To keep her pet unsullied, she has ordered her personal staff not to discuss business in their presence. It would appear, however, that some of her less circumspect men thought that she meant only to not speak to them directly of such matters. It unsettles her to think that some among her gods could be so indiscreet. This problem must be dealt with soon, she decides even as she puts her valiant pet's fears to rest.
心配しないで。ここは50人以上の衛士に守られているから。滝川衛士のことは知っているでしょ？東京でも最強の戦闘集団。府庁直轄の帝国軍を除けばだけど、テロリスト風情にはどう間違えたって負けるものですか。
You were saying?
はい、ごめんなさい。つまらないことを言って。
いいのよ、可愛い子。何も気にしなくていいの。バカな無双家たちがいくら攻めてきたって私には傷一つつかないし、あなたのこともちゃんと守ってあげるからね。
お姉様。ああ。
クゼはっシンクロはっ物資略奪の指揮は任せてよいな。
承知。無論。しかし佐竹殿はいかがされる？
敵将の首を取る。
何？なんと。それは佐竹殿といえど無謀。何より怪盗殿のご指示に背くこと。
承知の上。
討ち死にも切腹も覚悟の上と仰せか。しかし何のゆえあって。
大義。
I wonder if they get really bored just having to stand in that position for a while.
大義。大義と。
さよ。すべては大義。大義とは胸に宿すばかりでは意味なきもの。知行合一の精神にのっとり実行せねばならぬ。
佐竹殿は我らが大義を行っておらぬと仰せか。
そうは言わぬ。怪盗殿のお考えに否やはない。だが俺は一刻でも一秒でも早く東京独立の大義を成したい。三島少将の悲願を達したいのだ。
少将閣下の悲願。
この東京を真なる日本として未来に残す。三島少将はそのために城壁を作られたが、それでもなお足りぬ。日本人たる誇りを持つ者は減る一方、対して滝川目を筆頭に西洋の拝金主義かぶれは増える一方。この流れを食い止め、今一度正しき道を歩み直すために東京は独立せねばならぬ。皮肉な話だが、今の日本と共にあっては真なる日本を守りきれぬのだ。
それは言われるまでもなきこと。
そのために怪盗殿は辛抱遠慮を尽くしておられる。
分かっている。だ独立の大業がなる前に 石間少将の理想が滅び、全ては手遅れになるのではないかと。ここでキャッツ、滝川の管理局長めの首を上げることが叶えば、対岸成就への大きな一歩となろう。この身一つを捨て石にして理想へ近づけるのであれば本望というもの。
佐竹殿、
怪盗殿より命を受けながらのこの独断専行、無責任と罵るがいい。だがどうか。
佐竹殿、
皆まで言われるな。
シンクロ、
思いは我らとて同じ。
クゼ、
何も心配召されるな。思うまま本会を遂げられよ。
すまぬ。
東京独立、これ大義。
地高合一、これ帯同。
大義をもって帯同を行かん。いざ。
さらば。
さらば。
Okay. You're a cutie. Katsuraba Kyoko has always maintained that while one's subordinates should be capable, it is not necessary for one's playthings to be the same. After all, soldiers and the like are expected to be proactive in executing their master's will. A proactive sex toy, however, would be rather unsettling. Moreover, she rather enjoys watching her pets scurry to carry out her orders. That said, perhaps it is not such a bad thing to have a pet who can remember his master's favorite tea and produce it without prompting when appropriate.
どうぞお姉様。
ありがとう。
Kyoko smiles as her pet hands her a cup of tea brewed to precisely the correct temperature and fragrance to soothe her spirit. She has sometimes found it amusing to cow less competent playthings with a well-timed stare of pity and disdain. This one denies her such pleasures, but even so she feels no anger. In both looks and ability, he is easily the most gifted of Kyoko's pets. If that were all there was to him, however, he would hardly be able to command such an affection. In fact, such an overabundance of ability might have prompted her to send him away.
どうしたの？さっきから窓の方ばかり見て。
あ、いえ、
そんなにテロリストが怖いの？
違います。
本当に？じゃあ少し外へお使いに行ってもらおうかしら。行ってきてくれる？一人でだけれど。もう。
She takes her trembling pet by the hand and pulls him gently to her. Small for a man, he gasps softly as the tall woman buries her head in her chest as a mother would a child's. Less motherly, however, is the kiss with which she then seals his lips. He sighs contentedly as he gives himself to her embrace. Fear is still evident in the trembling of his eyelids and the tension in his limbs, but that soon ebbs like that sea at low tide as he loses himself in the comfort of his mistress' arms. To a bystander, the scene might resemble that of a mother bird grooming one of her chicks, and in fact, that is exactly how Kyoko feels, stroking his hair. Her every delicate touch exudes affection. Yet, he is clever, but he is also timid. These two traits combine to create her perfect lover, one who is proactive without being threatened, and with such beauty to top it off. How can she not love him? Kyoko has already decided that she will keep him by her side in some capacity, even after he has grown too old for her plaything. No doubt he will make a fine manservant. In fact, considering that there is no particular need for Kyoko to marry into power or wealth, it might not be so bad to take him as her husband. That decision will require more prolonged appraisal, of course, but either way, she has no intentions of letting him go. Just then, something is wrong. Even as Kyoko toys with her kitten, her thoughts run down a different path. Her worries have reminded her of her responsibilities. Terrorist? Surely not. An expected report has not arrived. The transport of important goods into Tokyo, her primary responsibility, is a process broken down into several stages. After each stage, a brief report is to be sent to her. The first stage should have been completed at 22:20. A look at the clock tells her that it is already 22:26. 6 minutes, an unprecedented delay. Should she pick up the phone and demand a report? It wouldn't do for her to appear overly anxious. The Takigawa Corporation makes its fortune by monopolizing all trade between Tokyo and the outside world. It goes without saying that the safety of the trade route is vital. But although there is no such thing as too much security, it's not as though nagging her men will necessarily lead to better results. In fact, it can even have the opposite effect. These things should be handled according to the situation. So, what is the situation? The convoy is currently guarded by 8 platoons of Takigawa guards, at a total of 104 men. Now, as much as I want to continue this and see just where we go, and I have been told this game gets very interesting, it'll have to be your guys' choice. The more comments and likes for a game, the more chance there is. So once again, if you want to see more of these games, hit that like button, which I fucking despise saying, by the way. Comment on what games you would like to see me review, and what games you're hoping I stream over on Twitch and Mixer. Please join me every Tuesday and Thursday for that fun. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye everybody, and thank you once again to everyone who does support the channel. Lots of funny little links in the description over on YouTube. Bye guys.
Thank you.